What I'm going to start out by doing is passing a little book around. On page 14 is a picture of my hair mentor. He wrote this book. This is Pivot Point International, and when you look through here, you'll find out that they approach doing hair from a science and engineering position rather than an art position. And that's how I learned to cut hair, which is why, to me, it made sense that I need a different edge for different things that I do with hair. So we'll start this around. You guys can just kind of page through there a little bit and take a look at it. Daniel won that world championship when he was 16 in 1966. And he has since spent time on stage and backstage with every famous hairstylist since then. He's still a stage artist. And I still go in to see him when I have a question. He's the guy I go talk to because he knows things that he doesn't know that he knows until I ask him the question. I mean, that's just the way that it is. His training was old-style European training. He started out sharpening before he ever cut hair when he was 12 years old. That's the first thing they made him learn to do. So when I found out who he was, and I told him I wanted to learn to cut hair the way he cuts hair, he says, he says, if you're going to cut hair the way I cut hair, you must learn to cut hair the way I learned to cut hair. Will you do that? And I said yes, and the next day he showed up with a bag full of straps and stones and a handful of grinding compounds and a handful of battered scissors and some cutthroat razors. And he's standing there looking at me and he says, do you still want to learn to cut hair the way I learned to cut hair? And I said yes. So the first thing he said was, then we must first learn to take care of our tools. So the way it worked was that anytime I didn't have something else that we were doing around the salon, we had a head set up somewhere in the back. He would hand me a pair of shears and he would say something like, this is a shear like Sassoon would use to do such and such haircut. He would name a haircut. And he likes for the edge to be, and he would name the edge, describe the edge. Now he didn't talk about it in grits and microns. He talked about it in very fine, fine, medium, coarse, and very coarse, because that's what his grits were labeled. Because it was all little jars and plates and whatever. And so I had to spend some time when I decided to become a sharpener to try to convert what he was talking about over to what we think about. And this is, to make this clear, if you're doing shears with, say, a 9 micron, a beauty shear, a convex shear, with a 9 micron finish on the outside and 6 micron or finer on the inside, you're going to make 90% of hairstylists happy. They're going to love what you did, because the way they're going to cut hair is, get Sam out here. The way they're going to cut hair is they're going to pull it straight up, and they're going to do this. And as long as all the hair falls off, they don't care. Now, if you do this and it pushes a whole bunch, they're going to be upset.